Kobe, I was wearing that salmon shirt that I like so much, right?
Yeah, Barry?
And this lady came up to me. She was like, you're not born a gay. You're born again. Don't cancel us. We barely have any fans. But today's movie is a hot topic.
Yeah, it goes with the movie. Yes, we're not homophobic.
What's going on, guys? My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watched This. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the last month of Candy Month. No, Mandy Moore Month. It's been really fun. She's been in a lot of movies, like not eccentric movies. I mean, a lot of it is kind of like plain Jane, but still, she's had a lot more movies than I gave her credit for.
Right, and a little bit more range than like it's not so typecast. I mean, like similarities, but
yeah, I'm surprised she hasn't been in more Nancy Meyers movies. That was so prevalent in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
But this one is the last movie for this month. The movie really that I wanted to do and couldn't find a way to theme it besides Mandy Moore is positive. Like, it's kind of funny because it's one of those movies that kind of fits in today's view of a lot of hot topics.
Yes, I almost feel like this is more relevant
today
now than is like Idiocracy, where like you're like, God. Oh man, that movie, it's like, oh, that kind of hits home now, where it used to just be like this stupid view of the future.
And I don't know who's President Camacho, right?
Yeah, the way the world has changed recently, like this movie is like all of a sudden like pretty on point again.
I know, and I gotta tell you right now, when I first watched Idiocracy, I was like, Crocs are dumb.
Oh,
and the fact that the reason why they picked Crocs was because they thought it was so stupid, and now you see them everywhere. It is really just, it's convenient. And it's pretty comfortable. Like, I hated it for the longest time until my friend, who was like a huge like sneaker guy, was like, "Nah, Crocs are pretty good, man." I was like, "All right, let me try them on."
Right, and you see like nurses and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, I love Crocs because I'm on my feet all day long." And you're like,
they're not good for your feet, though.
They don't look like they would be all day comfortable. I've never even put them on. I don't.
Oh, I know Colby's getting for Christmas this year. I know it's funny. One time it was sorry, we're like totally diverging from the actual movie, but back then, like when Black Friday was still like Black Friday.
Oh yes.
I was at a outlet here in Las Vegas, and then we passed by a Crocs store, and I was with my friends, and I was like, "Huh, looks like someone's getting Crocs for this Christmas," and then my one friend was like, "I hope it's me." He's a guy ahead of his time. Really is.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the rhyme fest of this movie so you guys can find out what we're talking about, and it's not Idiocracy. Whew. All right. A Christian story about Mary, but she's no longer a virgin. Tried to set her boyfriend straight, but he couldn't help the gay urge. Trying to navigate this Christian school, sometimes even best friends can turn so cruel. Will she be religiously enslaved? We'll find out in 2004 Saved. Had to Eminem some of these rhymes,
Yeah.
Verge, urge.
Right? Hey,
fucking lyrical genius.
Whatever works.
But today we're going to be talking about the 2004 indie film Saved, starring, obviously, Mandy Moore, but also Jena Malone, Macaulay Culkin, which was a delight in this movie. Super funny. Patrick Fugit, Heather Matarazzo, who for some reason is always playing those roles from the 2000s. And
she was definitely typecast.
And Susan Sarandon's daughter, Eva Amurri, who played the goth girl.
Okay. What else has she been in?
Oh, Californication. You get to see her beautiful rack in that movie. in that shit.
I've not seen that.
Oh.
Was she the punk girl in the Dream Warriors? Freddy Krueger Dream Warriors?
Oh no, she was like, I don't think she was even born.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, she's
dating myself there.
Yeah, she was in That's My Boy, the girl who slept with her brother. No, she's been in a lot of things. I remember Californication because like my friend was like, "Oh, there's so much boobs in that show," and I was like, "Oh, I guess I gotta watch it." But no, she's been in a lot of things. Obviously she hasn't taken full advantage of her nepotism,
Right.
but she's more in like smaller films, smaller shows. Always just playing like maybe like a supporting cast, never like the main girl. But she's always been around. She was Shelly from How I Met Your Mother. I don't know if you've ever watched that one.
I've seen that. I'm certainly familiar with that show.
She was like one of Ted's ditzy girlfriends and stuff like that. Yeah. But no, ever since Californication, Jesus, you got to go home and check it out now. But no, yeah, and it's also directed by Brian Danley. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he was one of the executive producers of Queer as Folk, Weeds as another. He's like a main producer.
Oh,
I think.
Okay. I enjoyed Weeds.
Yeah, and a lot of TV shows. Awkward, Zombie Basement, which I never got to watch. Scream, the TV series, which
Okay.
I can't lie, it's guilty pleasure. Scream, the TV series. So yeah.
He's been busy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not struggling. You know what I'm saying? He has a house in the Ridges, probably. That's the rich area in Las Vegas for you guys. But no, yeah, this movie starts off. Our main character is played by Jena Malone. She is Mary, which is funny because Virgin Mary and everything.
Right.
But she does a quick rundown of her summer. She's spending it with her best friend Hillary Faye. First of all, never trust a girl with like two names. Like you have to oh, my name is Hillary Faye. Like, can I call you Hillary? No, it's Hillary Faye.
Right. Yes.
Like Anna Marie.
Yeah.
I hated those restaurants.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's spending the summer with her friends. Roland is Hillary Faye's disabled brother.
Yep.
He's just in a wheelchair though, but he wasn't born disabled, right?
No, he fell out of a tree.
Yeah, that's why you don't climb trees, guys. Kobe is a notorious tree climber.
At least I used to be. Yes, I've
in his early days.
I've fallen out of my share of trees.
I would never. Like, do you ever do the thing where you would climb the baseball cage?
Oh yeah.
Oh, never. See,
Yes.
I was like, how do you get down?
Oh, and you go over, and then you're like, hey, I probably could have been a rock climber like when I was not so doughy as I am now.
Well, rock climbing wasn't as big back then.
No.
But never. I was like, I watch kids do that. I was like, huh, what if you fall?
Well, I wasn't scared. I'm scared of not scared, but I'm intimidated of super highs, like the people who rock climb,
Oh, yeah, like
600 feet.
Yeah.
No, I can't do. I'm scared to get 40 feet up, and then I would get tired.
This is 3 stories high.
Yeah. But the baseball cage, I was like, I know I've fallen out of trees higher than this. I could just let go and be fine.
Oh, how malleable the child's body is, right? These bones are still so soft.
I remember we only had a 1-story house, but it had a pretty high crest, and I remember at one point standing on the crest of that house with a garbage bag, and I thought, parachute.
Yeah.
And you don't realize when you jump, it takes way more than
More time.
18 feet for the air to slow you down in a garbage bag. As I hit the ground pretty hard, not expecting to hit the ground very hard.
Well, you're thinking, well, like my army men are really good about this. I could be good too. So yeah, no, but this girl, you know, she introduces her boyfriend Dean, and she's like, my boyfriend's a dreamboat. He's like captain of the football team or whatever, or ice skating.
Ice skating.
He's a
jock.
He's a. But then, like, you know, they have this little funny game that they always used to play. They would go swimming and they would tell us secrets in the water.
Underwater, so you can't really tell what the other person's saying.
Yeah. But she's like, kind of lame, but, you know, it's our little thing. And so they do it. And Dean is like, I think I'm gay. And she's like, what? No, we have to save you.
Yes. And she does kind of also give the introduction where, like, she has been very, very Christian her whole life.
Oh, yeah.
They go to this Christian school, this like Christian private school, uniforms, all that kind of stuff. There's the Hillary Faye is her best friend, and she is the
super
most
Christian.
the most devout.
Yeah, like, you know, they're so Christian that they like harass people going to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, they're like so Christian. They took a girl from an exchange student from another country in for the year and converted her.
Yeah,
saved her.
I thought she was adopted.
Maybe she was.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so pretty devout, you know, these Christian people. But then, like, so she's like, I have to save Dean. So her mission for the summer was to convert him, or what is it called?
Cure him.
Well, I don't want to say that. Well, like, she said that, not us.
It is less now, but there was definitely a
conversion camp.
A very Christian way of thinking that at that time, 20 years ago, that it was a mental disorder that like you could be cured of.
Yeah.
And I in fact know somebody who was gay younger and went to the church because they thought they were sick, and through a process of, I don't know really what it was. I didn't.
Oh, it's horrible. I've seen the documentary on
the church cured them, and so they were no longer homosexual.
No, he's still. I don't.
He
came back out.
100%. It's definitely like he acted like. Sorry if no offense or anything. You know how there's like sometimes you have people who are like, everybody knows that they're gay, and then they're like, hey, I'm coming out, and everybody's like, oh, congratulations. Yeah, we already all knew. Like, if he said that he was, everybody would have been like,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah, I've had a friend from like a long time ago come out to us like, I was waiting for you to tell me that. You know what I mean? But no, and so like the whole summer she's like trying to like, she's like, we gotta make out. Here, touch my boobs, touch my second boob. Is there anything?
Right.
And so she's like,
just trying to stir the manhood.
Yeah, until she talks to Mandy Moore, and she's like, oh, she was talking about being assaulted, and how she would what was it called? Bestow God's fury on that who had assaulted her.
Yes.
And she was like, God will make me a virgin again in my spirit.
In my spirit and in my heart.
And so Mary was like, oh, okay, well, sorry. So like when she when she and Dean were in the pool.
Oh, right. Yes.
She accidentally hits her head on the rail, and then the contract worker that was working in their backyard comes to save them. For some reason, this guy is shirtless. I don't think I've ever seen a contract worker go shirtless. But he kind of looks like Jesus. And so, like, he ends up saving her because Dean ends up slipping and hitting his head on the pool, right, on the floor. And so,
and she kind of hears, like, as she's kind of drowning and he dives in, she kind of hears him say, "Save Dean."
yeah, do
And
whatever or support Dean or something like that.
something like that. And so she takes it that was Jesus coming to her with this mission that it is her job to help save Dean.
Yeah, so she ends up, after having that talk with Mandy Moore or Hillary Faye, she's like, she goes to Dean's house, who was just checking out like a muscle mag or something.
Yeah.
And she's like,
shirtless bikers or something.
She's like, we have to do it. You know, that way, you know, Jesus told me I had to save you, and I feel like this is the only way I can save you, and Jesus will make me a virgin again.
Right.
So they end up having, you know, coitus.
Yeah, and I would say, you know, I know an awful lot of homosexual people who were like, I mean, it's a girl. I'm not attracted to her, but somebody starts touching it, it gets hard, and then you can use it.
Well, like, you know, like, especially when you're like still trying to figure yourself out.
It's true.
Yeah,
like you're like, oh no, I can't be gay. I'm you know.
Yeah, I'm
a church
girl.
boy.
Yeah,
it's like, and I've got a girlfriend. It's got to.
Yeah, but the look on his face isn't the look that like a guy would like doing it for the first time had a look.
Oh, right.
He looked like he was just like doing a chore.
Yeah. Not somebody who just opened a Charizard out of their Pokemon pack.
First edition, shadowless. No, and so like they start with the first day of school. Mary has this glow, like, I saved Dean, you know, and so Hillary Faye picks him up in those one of those family wagon type of vans,
right?
Which is like fitted to handle a Roland as well,
right?
And Hillary Faye is obviously. The way she talks about it, and if you know bullshit when you see it, she's talking about like, yeah, I could have had a Lexus, but like, you know, because of my brother, I wanted to do this.
Right. Yeah. She always has. She's the kind of person who does good so people will praise her, not doing good necessarily for the good of it.
Yeah. But like everything, like if you're somebody who could read between the lines, it's pretty evident, right? Yeah. So they go pick up the adopted girl. I think her name is Trin, but that might just be me being racist. I think she's Vietnamese because she talked about Vietnam.
Oh, yes, yeah.
But no, and then they go over to Dean's house, and she's like, "Where's Dean?" So Mary goes up, knocks on the door, and the parents come out. And she's like, "I'm sorry, Mary, but we found this magazine under Dean's thing, so we send him to Mercy Home," which is like pretty much, it's not just a conversion camp, but it's like one of those camps for Christians.
Yeah, it's the
troubled
church,
youths,
the church run juvie basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like people who are like failing out, kicked out of school,
pregnant,
apparently
and
gay.
homosexual. You know, whether be gay or lesbian. So like, wow. And then so Mary tells Hillary Faye, and she stops the van. She's like, yuck. And then Roland is like, did no one else see this?
Right. Yep. Exactly.
He's always have his shirt off, and he's always with other guys with their shirt off. Kind of situation. So they end up getting to school, but when they get to school, they run into there's always a delinquent in these type of situations, and it's Cassandra, played by Susan Sarandon's daughter, Eva Amurri. Super, like, this is the girl that I probably would have been like, I want her. I will sin for her. Like, if I was in a Christian school.
Yes, she's a little standoutish. She's attractive, but not like
in the conventional way. She's more like, it's a culmination of like, she's like forbidden fruit.
Right.
You know, she's the devil's temptation in the flesh.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I definitely would have fallen for this girl back in high school. Like, I'd have been like, oh, she's too cool for me, but I gotta shoot my shot. And so, but they have, so by the way, like, Mary's mother is a single mother. When she was a kid or younger, her dad had passed away, and then the mother is the one that really got into the church. And so the mother, she as she was growing up, she became a church head. and the pastor is also the principal or like the owner of this school
Yeah.
that they go to, right? And so like the first day of school, they have like this whole welcome back auditorium thing, and they're like, "Well, who's down with God?" Yeah, you know me.
Yep, the welcome back assembly. It is hardcore into
Yeah.
the religion.
Yeah, you would have.
And Susan Sarandon's daughter, she's the one Jewish kid.
Apparently.
Besides being the troublemaker, she's the one Jewish kid.
But it was, I don't think it was ever confirmed, right?
Maybe it was one thing that she just said. You're right.
Yeah, because then like everyone's like she used to be a stripper.
Yeah, right. Yep, and she does say that a couple of times, and then later on she's like, "Yeah, I was never a stripper."
But they had this whole assembly. Mandy Moore, or Hilary Faye, Mary, and the third girl from Trin. They do this whole like singing thing, and then the pastor comes out. He's like, "Who's down with God?" And he's all like, "All right, well, anybody want to come down and sort of confess their sins or something? Some of you I know backslid."
Right. Yeah, you had a whole summer with
Temptation
Island
and so come down. So like a couple of people start coming down and everything, and then all of a sudden Cassandra starts to spaz out, and then pastor's like, "Look at her, the spirit has entered her, she is speaking in tongues."
Yep.
But that we do get introduced to Patrick, who is the son of the pastor. So he's a little bit of a outlier as well, sort of like a little bit like Cassandra, but he's a skateboarder,
but a little bit more of a free spirit. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he was, but over the summer he was skating
For
in
Jesus.
other countries for Jesus.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like one of those things, like he's more of like
He just wanted to get away
a
from that.
counselor of a youth camp more than the
He's not a fanatic.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
He's more like, Jesus is here, but he's like the guy that you could come talk to. Like
Right.
he's like the cool counselor.
Yeah, yeah.
And so
Exactly,
like,
yep.
but Roland and Patrick, as they're witnessing Cassandra sort of spaz out, they're like, she's gonna freaking pop her tits out. And Cassandra kind of almost does. She unbuttons a couple buttons, and then you see the top portion, which will let you know that those puppies are glorious. Oh man, but then what's it called? But then the assembly ends. Like Hilary Faye stops her from doing that, and then the assembly ends. And as the school kind of starts to go, but like the school in the timeline for this movie is pretty ambiguous, because it's going for a whole school year, so you never really know what part of the year you're in. Right. But
yeah, there's a couple times where you'll see like they'll like be like, "Hey, Halloween's coming," or Christmas is coming. So you kind of get that, but
it's
right.
more in passing.
But it
versus,
is, yes,
yeah.
it's broken up.
Yeah, they don't really do any decorations, and mind you, this movie's only like a pretty tight 90 minutes, like an hour and 30 at the most, which I think is a perfect length for this movie.
Right.
But all of a sudden, Hilary Faye is kind of enamored by Patrick. He's sort of like, he's this free spirit, almost like just. He's a cool Christian guy,
Right.
And so she ends. But then Patrick seems kind of enamored by Mary. I don't know, like maybe it was like a love at first sight type of thing.
And it's a little bit of a like, she's got the boyfriend, but the boyfriend that she can't have because he's at Mercy.
Yeah, Mercy Home.
Mercy Home. But it's still like, so she's there and she's alone, and it's
just
weird guy thing, and
like it's
like,
it's a hero complex thing,
Yeah.
right? Like she looks kind of like, oh, why does she look like a wounded animal?
exactly, yes,
Which is a gross thing that guys have. Like you always want to save somebody.
Right, yeah.
Like you're always trying to fix something.
Yes. So hey, totally on a different subject, but like to that, somebody once said, "Have you ever noticed the difference between women at a strip club and men at a strip club? Because women are there having a party, they're screaming and they're hooting and hollering, and men are like a bunch of cheetahs stalking a gazelle. They're just quiet and staring."
right? In the fucking bushes. Jesus. But no, and so what's it called? Hillary Faye. Oh, Mary ends up getting a little sick, and she's like, "What am I throwing up?"
Right.
So, so she ends up taking a pregnancy test, and she's like, "Please let it be cancer, please." I'm like, "Jeez."
Oh, right. Yes, because she's looking on the internet, and it's like, what are these things that symptoms?
The start of WebMD.
Yeah, and then she takes a test and says positive, and then she's like, what other things would cause me to get a positive?
Yeah.
And that's when she was like, oh, it could be cancer, maybe.
Please let it be. Jeez. And then what's it called? Roland is super into Cassandra. So they end up hanging out a little bit, like Cassandra's like, "Oh, let me take you away from your fucking like overbearing sister." And I feel like if I do this, it'll also piss her off too.
Right.
So
right.
it's a little
win-win.
Yeah, win-win for her. But then when Mary goes to Planned Parenthood, Cassandra and Roland are hanging out, and they're like, "Holy shit, Christian Jules or whatever the group is called, is at Planned Parenthood." And Cassandra's like, "Oh, what do you think a Christian girl at Planned Parenthood could be doing?" And Roland's like, "Oh my God, she's installing a pipe bomb." And Cassandra's like, "Okay, that's the second thing that could be happening." But no, Cassandra's like, "No, I think she's preggers," But they don't address it till like later.
Right.
And so, but then Mary gets a flyer that Hillary Faye is holding some sort of prayer circle to pray for Dean so they could pray the gay away.
Pray the gay away.
And Mary's not having it. She's like, this is not going to help anything. All right, God told me to do it, and I did it, and then it didn't help. And now he's punishing me with this baby. Which in her mind, she doesn't say that to Hillary Faye.
No, but I'm like, that is a very honest feeling. Like, yeah, if you are that devout and, you're like, I'm just going to follow the word, and he came to me and told me to do this, and now it's backfired, and my world is crumbling around me.
Yeah. So she has like this whole struggle with faith thing. She kind of starts to not really like what's it called, like implode on herself. She's just more having like, it's a very teenage thing. She like, she just she has a shaken faith with the whole religion thing, and she's like, how am I gonna deal with this baby? Like, it's a sin to have the abortion, but then can I have a baby? It's like, there's a lot of fucking hormones going on.
And there's certainly, like, she hasn't told her mom, she hasn't told her friends. Like, it is definitely like this, if I ignore it, it'll go away kind of attitude towards it.
Right? As a teenage girl.
Because she's worried. She knows that, if you're an unwed mother, you go to Mercy House.
Yeah. So so she's just really struggling. She sort of started to distance herself from Hillary Faye, and Hillary Faye started to notice it. Like, why are you changing? Why are you being difficult? Why aren't you falling in line? Because Hillary Faye, even though she's like probably the top brass at the school, she's a fucking tyrant.
Right. Yeah, and she's got the rich dad who donates like the money to do this
thousands
and that
of dollars
for the school.
Yeah,
and so she's even got power above the kids.
Yeah, and like, she's like, I'm the most religious person here, except for the pastor. So like, everyone kind of looks up to her because she has like this mask on, right? And but then the pastor starts to notice like the changes that are happening in Marie, and only because the pastor is very close with Marie's mom.
Right.
And the mom is sort of like, I don't know, maybe she's just been so oblivious or something, or maybe she just hasn't taken too much stock into her daughter's life in a long time, because Mary even asked her mom like, oh, like pregnant and stuff like that, and she's like, well, Mary, like a kid, having a kid and raising a kid are two different things, like I could buy a car, but if the radiator breaks down, I don't know how to fix that. And,
Right.
and so Mary's like, are you comparing me to a car right now? But it's also like a big, huge fear for her because she's like, well, fuck, if she doesn't know how to do this, how am I going to do this? You know?
Right. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Patrick has been trying to slowly, talk to Mary, but it hasn't been going too well until the pastor talks to Hillary Faye. And she's like, hey, something's going on with your friend, Mary, and can you guys, like, please, like, try to help her out, like, guide her back into the light? She's been sort of moving away from it.
Right.
And so she decides to perform an exorcism, which is hilarious because even the exorcism music starts playing.
Right, yeah, because they've got the van. And then they basically try to kidnap her, and then...
And she's like, the Jesus compels you. And she's like, you trying to fucking exercise me right now? What the fuck? And she's like, we're just trying to help you. You've been pulling away. And she's like, God, this is all too much for me right now. And first of all, what do you know about love, Hillary Faye? And she's like, people are so fucking jealous of me because of how much love I have for Jesus.
Yo.
It's like she even throws the Bible at Mary. And Mary's like, this isn't a weapon. I beg to differ, Mary. That's probably one of the most dangerous weapons in history. Is that freaking book, the Holy Bible. But as she's walking home, she gets picked up by Patrick, and he's like, hey, come on, let me give you a ride. And she's like, oh, on your scooter? And he's like,
it's a Vespa.
There's a clear difference. But he does end up giving her a ride, and he's like, hey, like, do you want to, like, go on a date tomorrow? Or do you want to go on a date tonight or something? And she's like, I'm not trying to date anybody right now. She's like, what about tomorrow? Are you trying to date anyone tomorrow?
I thought that was a pretty that was a pretty sneaky line. That was
Yeah, she laughs, but she still ends up, like, saying no, she just kind of just wants to be alone. She calls Dean to try to tell Dean that she's pregnant, but they're like, this is during Halloween, and Dean is, like, in a production of, like, he's like, they've done a Halloween haunted house, with Jesus version and he's, like, dressed up like as a Jesus or something. But then she has, like, a roommate who's also, like, in there for homosexual, like, tendencies, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how they would put it, but she ends up not telling him. Christmas does end up rolling around. Well, in between Christmas and Halloween, Cassandra does end up finding out that Mary's pregnant.
Right, yeah. She gets sick in class, right?
Yeah, she gets sick in class.
And then runs to the bathroom, and then...
And then Cassandra's, like, smoking in the bathroom. She's like, are you sure I should be smoking around you? And kind of tricks Mary into telling her that she's pregnant.
Right.
And so, like, but she's like, this is where, Cassandra's a good person, because she's like, she puts the cigarette out right away, and she's like, here, let's go fucking take you shopping.
She's kind of basically just like, hey, I know this is, like, going to be the craziest time of your life, and it's certainly not something you should do alone, and I know you can't
talk to Hillary Faye.
Right.
Because she's going to blow up your fucking spot.
Again, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, and if I help you, then it's kind of a little jab at Hillary Faye.
But, like, everything is really coming. Like, even though these are things that are, like, she's doing it to piss off Hillary Faye, but she's also, like, it shows you that she's just a decent person, right?
Right.
So she's like, she takes her, like, to clothing shopping. She's like, hey, take it from me, who's shoplifted an entire wardrobe, that I can show you how to hide a fucking bump.
Right.
Because I even stole a frozen turkey from the Piggly Wigglies.
Wearing Daisy Dukes.
Yeah, Daisy Dukes and a tank top. And Roland ends up bankrolling it. He's like, this is the credit card that our parents gave us, but it's under my sister's name, but whatever.
Right.
And so, yeah, like, they end up fostering this, like, cool little relationship. Christmas does end up rolling around. Cassandra keeps talking to Mary. He's like, Patrick fucking wants you. He's pretty fit for a Christian guy. Like, and like, because, game recognized game. She sees Patrick, like, a lot of children of pastors and pastors mainly, because priests don't have kids, or they're not supposed to. They usually are very rebellious against the whole religion thing. And so, like, she sees Patrick. He's a skateboarder. He's kind of free spirited. So she's like, you should go for him. But she's like, I don't know. But then all of a sudden, Patrick comes with Hilary Faye. And Cassandra ends up trying to bite the bullet for Mary so maybe he could spend time with Patrick. So she's like, I'm just so lonely during Christmas, And
being the only Jew.
No. Hilary Faye clarifies it for Patrick. She's Jewish.
Yeah.
And so Roland even tells Mary, like, go with Patrick. And they end up kind of like leaving together. Patrick tells Mary, like, no, we just ran into each other. And I asked her for some help for Christmas presents. We didn't come together. You know? And they end up going to like this off-site from the mall, and it's like kind of like, well, how'd you find this place? Because it's a little romantic, as romantic as a storage facility can get.
Right. Yeah.
They end up almost kissing, but then Mary stops it again.
Yeah.
Right. But now, what's it called? Hilary Faye ends up tricking Cassandra because like later the next day, Cassandra's telling Mary, she's like, I hope you know what kind of bullet I had to take for you. I had to listen to fucking Sonic Youth, which is like the only Christian band I know the whole day, And so they end up running into Hilary Faye, but then Cassandra also said, oh yeah, I put a fish in her car. So
right. I taped a burrito inside her locker or something like that. God.
It's disgusting. But she ends up trying to tell Hilary Faye, like, yeah, that's really cool, but I decided to follow Satan. And Hilary Faye ends up catching Cassandra. They meet again later. Like, Roland kind of divulges to the two that, like, well, our parents didn't want 2 disabled kids. And we're like, what do you mean? And they go to her house, and it's like Hilary Faye when she was, like, fat.
Yeah.
And so... the next day, Hilary Faye tricks Cassandra into saying something that is against the guidelines. She's like, I hope you burn in hell, you tacky bitch. And ends up going to the principal and kind of getting her in trouble where Cassandra, Mary, and Roland have to help with the prom decorations.
Right. Which is headed by Hilary Duff or
Hilary Faye.
Hilary Faye.
Yeah.
And so... so they're kind of like her subordinates for this
power
period
trips.
of time. Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
But until Roland comes and he's like, I got to set up. so Cassandra's like, fuck this. I quit. You fucking dress up your tacky prom however you want. And so they end up going to the computer lab, maybe for keyboard class or something. And it's all Hilary Faye's photos when she's fat.
Right. She's the screensaver for every computer.
Yeah. Meanwhile... Sorry, before Hilary Faye goes to the pastor to sort of complain, the pastor and Mary's mom have been dating during this time. It's a really small subplot.
And it's not... They don't really want... They both really want to be together, but they don't feel like they can be, so it's like very... like little dates that are all business oriented but very sexual tensioned.
Yeah, well, until Mary's mom was like, I want you to kiss me. Let's kiss. But so Hilary Faye goes to the pastor. She's like, I know they did it. And she's like, well, you don't have any proof, so we can't do anything about that. So Hilary Faye goes into this religious frantic prayer mode where she ends up thinking that the best idea is for me to vandalize the school and frame them.
Right.
So she does that. They go into their lockers. They find the spray paint. And in Marie's locker, she had been keeping a sonogram, which one of the ladies that worked there, she finds it, but then she tries to hide it from the pastor until it falls out of the folder. And now the pastor has to tell the mother. And Roland is like looking at Hilary Faye, like, bro, you have everything. What's wrong with you?
Right.
And so Cassandra gets expelled. She kind of ditches Roland just because she's so overwhelmed by everything that's happening. Because, it's unfair,
Right.
And then Marie now has to deal with her mother finding out that she's pregnant. Marie's mom and the pastor go into the storage unit to talk about how this is the sin. This is, we've sinned and this is our punishment. And so the mom is like not really having it, but she's like, but then the pastor's like, we have to send her for us to work out. Which I was like, ooh, bad mom if you're going to listen to that shit.
Right. And so then there's, definitely the mother internal battle of whether do I support my daughter or do I send her to the Mercy
House and keep getting this religious D, this God D. No, yeah, and so they end up trying to figure things out, but then Roland ends up going to the place where him and Cassandra first had their first date. Because it's been the next day, and now Cassandra's kind of like worried. She feels bad that she left Roland stranded,
right,
and everything. And so they meet up. She finds him there. She's like, "Well, this is the last place that I thought of, but it should have been the first place," type of deal. But then Roland's like, "Hey, like, listen, I don't want you to think I want you because
I need you.
Like I want to
like I'm
relying on you.
Yeah.
Like the way that I was relying on Hillary Faye, I want you to know that I want to be with you because I want to be with you.
Yeah.
And then Cassandra's like, oh, not because of the sex. I was like, oh, they've been fucking?
Apparently.
And he's like, well, that's there too. But so they make up there, but then they're like, oh, I have this credit card statement. I was looking at it, and it shows that Hillary Faye bought a whole bunch of spray paint cans at 3 a.m.
Right.
So they're like, all right, we're going to go to fucking prom. They call Mary up. Mary's like, I'm not going to go to fucking Mercy House. I'll tell you that right now. But she ends up, like, kind of ditching, like, skipping or, like, sneaking out. And they all get ready. Patrick is there to, like, take her to prom.
Yeah. Like the gentleman.
Like the gentleman. And so they go to the prom. Hillary Faye is kind of livid that they're there, but they're like, oh, she got this like famous Christian band to come to their school.
Right, yeah. So she's all like, you guys all owe me because I got this band.
Right. But before Hillary Faye gets there, she's kind of berating, God, what's her name? Vicky or something. Mm-hmm. The girl that the whole time she's like, I want to be in the Christian Jewel. She's sort of been like the Christian nerd,
right?
She finally got there, so she's been following the whole time. But then so she looks underneath the seat of the van. She's trying to find her little clutch.
Yeah.
She ends up finding the receipt from Home Depot.
Right.
And so like so as the band gets done, Hillary Faye gets on stage and she's like, we have a couple of crashers, people that shouldn't be here.
Right. And pastor, get up here and kick them out.
Yeah. And the pastor's like, well, the Christian thing to do is just to let them stay. They're not really hurting anybody right now. And Hillary Faye's like, no, this is bullshit. Not like she didn't crash out like that, but she's just like, no, all right, this and that, And then Roland tries to show the receipts of the purchase, but the pastor's like, this doesn't really prove anything. Anyone could have. You stole her credit card, so it could have been you.
Right, because there's also like for Babies R Us or whatever, for kids clothes. So there's
a lie. That could have just been you, Roland. I'm sorry. But then Hillary Faye thinks she's won, but then Vicky is like, no, I'm tired of this. You're a dictator.
Well, right, because Mary's like, well, we'll believe you if you just swear to God.
Oh yeah,
that you didn't do it.
And that's the one thing, like that's a hand on Bible type of swearing, right?
And then especially in front of the whole school
and the pastor,
yeah.
And so Hillary Faye is just so one of the sins is pride. So she's like, fine, I swear to God. And that's where now the Christian Jewels are like, no, because then Vicky pulls out the actual receipt. He's like, you did it. I found it in your van. You're a bitch. And so the pastor's like, all right, let's go, Hillary Faye. We got to talk about this. She storms out, though. She storms out, and she gets in her van.
Yep.
But then all of a sudden, a Mercy House van comes pulling up, and it's Dean with all the kids from Mercy House.
Right. All the kids who were supposed to go to that school. If they
But then Dean runs into Mary, and Dean's like, "Oh my God, you're pregnant," and he's like, "This is only the first time." But then he's like super supportive. He's like, "That's fucking awesome."
Right. Yep.
You know, and Cassandra kind of smiles at it because she was like afraid that maybe Dean was gonna be like a fucking dick. But then all of a sudden you hear the car screeching outside. Pastor's like, "Holy fuck, what is it now?" Because he tries to stop them from entering the prom, but then even Pat, you know, they're all trying to talk to him like it's all gray, Dad. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, no, there's no gray.
And they're all like, "This, we belong at this school. This is our senior prom. You gotta let us do."
Hey, you gotta let us enjoy this, you know. But then all of a sudden they hear the screeching and everything, and Hillary Faye is like literally crashing out. She swerves her van into Billboard Jesus.
Billboard Jesus. Yep.
And so like Hillary Faye ends up climbing out. Roland and Cassandra are there. Mary ends up her water breaking, so they call the police. They call the ambulance. But then Hillary Faye's talking to her brother, and she's like, "Does Jesus even still love me?" And Roland's like, "No, probably not." And then Ian's like, "Yeah, he does. Why not?" But then, like, you know, she kind of has this breakdown. She's like, "I'm just trying. I keep trying, and just nothing's working out." And you know, there's a lot to unpack there for Hillary Faye. You know, their dad is rich, so he's probably not home a lot. He's probably working a lot. You never know what that home situation is looking like,
right?
But no,
or always is like,
you gotta be
go
perfect.
to the church. Go to the church. Yeah,
you gotta be perfect. You gotta be Miss Religion and all that stuff. And so they end up kind of resolving like her issue. I mean, there's only like a week left in school or something like that.
Right, it's prom, so yeah, we're
like
definitely
2 weeks in, or like 2 weeks left. But Mary ends up going to the hospital. She ends up having her baby. You know, it's a nice little moment for everybody. Everybody's there. Dean gets to hold the baby because he's the father,
right,
and everything. And then the mom tells Mary, she's like, "I'm sorry, like you weren't a burden, or I didn't ruin my life with you," or anything.
Right, because that's kind of at one point when Mary's hinting about the baby.
Yeah.
Mom's definitely like, "Oh yeah, you don't want to be pregnant in high school. It's going to ruin your life."
Yeah.
God, it's going to make everything just terrible. And she's like, "Is that how you felt? Did I ruin your life?"
Yeah.
So it was like, it was like she kind of stormed out before that got corrected. So there was like that little animosity between the two.
Yeah, and then we see the pastor outside with a bouquet, and he's like kind of fighting with himself, and Mom sees it, but he ends up going inside, and like, God, you're a pastor, dude. You gotta like fucking forgive people. Right. Yeah. But then they end up having like this picture. Everyone takes a picture. Dean next to Mary, Patrick next to Mary on the other side, Cassandra making like a little punk face and everything, and then the movie ends.
Yeah.
Let's go to our other section, high star, low star, before we get into our thoughts about the movie.
We got a 10 out of 10, funny with a very good message. Before I saw this movie, everyone said it was making fun of Christians. I didn't see why this was so bad. There have been so many movies making fun of Jewish and Indian people, and no one said a word, so I watched the movie. What I saw was not offensive to Christians at all. It was a touching story about taking religion too seriously, and I don't think that it was specifically aimed at Christians. This movie is one of the best movies ever made. It was hilarious, but had a very good message. I loved Mandy Moore as the perfect Christian girl. The rest of the actors and actresses were excellent too. See this movie if you are in the mood for something lighthearted, or if you like movies with good messages. I think this movie is one that everyone should see, no matter what religion you are.
And then we got a 1 out of 10 by what I presume is a Christian family. Unpleasantly surprised. I just watched this movie with my family. We thought it was awful. One of the worst we've seen in a long time. The trailer and previews made it seem like it was going to be a teen comedy that spoofed Wow. Evangelicals in private school. Instead, it wasn't funny. It wasn't serious. It was just a bunch of people running around preaching how they love Jesus. I felt very misled, yet we left it playing, hoping it might develop into something better. The best part about Saved is that it's so short in duration, so we only have to endure 90 minutes or so. The movie is like when you get to what you think is a party, and when you arrive, you realize it's an Amway event. You don't want to stay, but you feel like you can't leave. In the end, it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
Well, that's rough.
Yeah,
that was
Amway,
rough.
Man, jeez, it's not a pyramid
I
scheme.
mean, like, the first one's the best movie ever made. That seems exaggerating, but
No, I think this movie it is pretty funny. It's kind of accurate as far as the portrayal of what high school life kind of looked like.
right. I feel like almost in the same kind of time range. We got like American Pie.
Oh, yeah.
You got like movies like that are coming out. So, if you were expecting it to be more of that like raunchy teen humor, like I could see how you would be.
I think that would
a little
disappointed,
but
I think that would have been more offensive.
Definitely, yeah.
But more accurate.
Right.
I had a cousin that went to a Catholic school. There's a lot of lesbians there. Yeah. I don't really see the offense. It's a very, you could almost do this with any kind of blanket as far as like a religion goes.
Right.
Because there are fanaticals that are a lot like Mandy Moore.
Right.
Who are always preaching but then are pretty like twisted.
Yeah.
On the inside, as you see her kind of devolve into this manic villain. Because, man, when she was praying, it's like she was getting possessed. Right? She was, like, twitching. She was, like, wailing like a goddamn banshee. But then you definitely have people that are like Roland and Patrick. Or Roland was like, I'm not a Christian at all. Patrick was a Christian, but very, like, Christian light.
Right.
He's like, he's probably one of the more characters that are like, this is supposed to be a guideline for morality, but it's like there's a lot of gray.
Right. He made a really poignant line when he's talking to Mary, and she's like, I got a boyfriend, and he's at Mercy House, and they're trying to cure him, and he was like, sometimes I feel like Mercy House is less for the people who are there and more for the people who sent them there.
Yeah.
Like, it is like, you got parents who, like, don't know how to deal with that, so they send you away.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey.
Fix my kid.
Right.
Like it's a goddamn fucking car that you can send into a freaking repair shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, like, he is sort of like, if he ever did become a pastor, he'd be a good pastor because he understands.
Right.
Times are different, things are different, people are different, not everything is the same. Even Dean is who is like homosexual, but he's also like a Christian, and he's like, I still believe God loves me.
Right. Oh yeah, and he actually did say that, right, to the pastor.
He's like, just because like this, this is who I am, it's not like spitting in his face or anything. I still want to practice being Christian.
Right.
And I think it'd be more sad if I stopped being Christian just because of who I am. Yeah. So, like, there's a lot of messages in this movie that I think are pretty poignant, especially for today's landscape. Also, like, Mary dealing with her teen pregnancy, which, I know a couple girls in high school that were like pregnant and were, like, hiding it. I was like, fuck, it's like 105 right now. Why is she in a sweater?
Yeah, and it's gotta, like, it's a shame thing, and like the more, like a church school, like it's even more of a, like oh my gosh, what did this sinner do?
Oh. Yeah, it's worse than like regular public school,
right?
Because it's gonna be, it's more more judgment coming down, more gossip. I mean, there's already gossip in regular school, but then when you add the religious aspect of it, like
Right. And then they even had like a little sex ed thing where they were like, hey, for one quarter the the state is mandating that we get taught sex ed, and then as he's like kind of doing it, she's like, oh man, I really wish I would have known this stuff before summer. Because I guess you get into like that kind of strict thinking of like, well, abstinence is the only way. You just don't do it, and then you don't realize what all goes along with sex or whatever things you're doing. So you end up shouldn't have been an oops, but they did.
Yeah, there's so much in this movie that I feel like a lot of people like. It's funny how it still stays pretty relevant even in today's landscape. Because sometimes you see these teen movies and it's super outdated. Like
right, yeah.
Revenge of the Nerds had sexual assault in it, and no one ever talks about. Some of the language.
That was college, so not high school. That's fine then.
My God. Freaking Breakfast Club had a lot of profane words that you can't use now or say now, and obviously American Pie had a large amount of sex in it.
Right. Yep.
Sexual innuendos, dudes drinking cum out of cups and beer. A lot. Also coined one of the most famous slang words ever, MILF.
Yep.
So there's a lot, and this one is pretty tamed, but it's pretty applicable in today's, I feel like in today's high school thing,
Right, yeah, and especially like we're kind of like talk about idiocracy, but like there's like a resurgence of the church, at least on one side of the political parties. There's like a resurgence of church and like this kind of belief being pushed on people. Like, oh look, we got away from this, and that's why there's so many problems with the world. Ugh. So let's get back to this super strict, super Catholic way of thinking,
or Christian, right?
Or Christian, yeah. And it's so like it kind of full circle. It's kind of come back to where this movie's all of a sudden like, yeah.
You could do this movie again today, and
right,
and really spit in the face of the Christian community. Oh man, but we're coming up to our hour. I want to thank you guys for joining us. Make sure to check out all of our other months. We have months where we do director themed months, actor themed months. What's it called? Obsessed. We have an obsessed month for movies, stalker movies, pretty much.
Right. Yep. We've got a Trapped, where the whole month's of movies about people trapped somewhere
in small spaces.
In small spaces. Oh, I love movies like that. Time travel, space debris,
in space,
WWE movies. We got everything.
Yeah, we definitely have something for you guys. But if this is the first time you guys are joining us, we do our reviews in 4 different sections. We have streaming, DVD, Blu-ray, and the Ultimate Box Collection. Kobe, where are you at for this one?
So I kind of like have been enjoying the movies more and more this month. Like I started off like I don't know, maybe it would just stream this, and then like last week was the like DVD. I'd probably go Blu-ray with this one. Yeah. This one has to me definitely the most rewatch value.
Okay.
I could watch this again. I could share this with people. I feel like this would be a fun thing to watch. Like my daughter, she's now 21, but I feel like a lot of it would, she would appreciate.
She would appreciate. She's like, I do remember that.
Yeah, right.
That was a terrible time. No, yeah, I think it's super applicable. I have nieces and stuff like that are in high school. Like, I could be like, hey, watch this movie. I think it'll resonate with you a lot.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
We do get a chance to see Mandy Moore sing.
Right.
Which
yes.
is always very angelic.
Right. 4 movies is the first song she did, right?
Well, no. She sang in Because I Said So with Diane Keaton. Remember?
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But this one was more like a highlight. That one was more like towards the end of the singing, and Because I Said So was a little bit better because they're like in a happier mood.
Right.
And
right.
then this one, it was like she's doing like a stage production of some sort of Jesus song. So yeah, I don't know if I go Blu-ray. As much as I like this movie, damn, it would be. No, it's kind of tough. I'll probably get this on Blu-ray too. Just because I feel like it's one of those like movies that it's gonna stay relevant as far as like the themes in the movie goes.
Right.
And so I think that's pretty important. It's not it's a pretty family friendly movie besides like the sex scene, which wasn't even really too egregious.
Oh, right, right. Yeah, there's no nudity. There's no.
Yeah, you
just
see
a couple people under a blanket.
Yeah, you see a couple pumps, but Oh yeah, I'll tell you right now. The first time I was like, nah, no blanket. I get hot. Yeah, let me see everything.
Yeah, you don't want to be sweating all over you.
Oh, because boy, I sweat. When I do, I have a towel next to me, and that's not for cleanup. That's for me, like keeping the sweat off.
Yep.
No, yeah, I like it. I like the house at a nice brisk 68 degrees if it was my choice. You know what I'm saying? And a fan. Oh man, but yeah, no, definitely check out our other links down below where we have all of our social media stuff.
Yeah, we got our Facebook and our Instagram, Twitter, Threads, TikTok, YouTube. You name it, we're on it. Yep. Something else comes out, we'll join that too.
I don't know if we'll be active, but we'll join it.
Yeah, so
we're trying.
Yeah, jump on something and give us a like, follow us. It's an easy way. We always kind of post when we put up new stuff, so it's the easiest way to know when new episodes come out. Even though we're pretty regularly doing them every Monday or Tuesday.
Yep. Unless I forget, then it's a Wednesday or Friday. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. My name is Barry.
This is Colby.
And this is Who Watches This. If you guys want to check it, does the theme music, it is Lee Rosevere. It's called Arcade Montage. It's on our album Music per Podcast 3, and our Bandcamp is down below.